I know some of you have been waiting for the yearly Christmas message, which we decided not to do this year. Believe it or not, those videos, the Christmas message videos, take us about a month to plan it and write it up and decide what's going to be in it. And then there's also the choosing of whatever passage or poem that's going to be read in there. Well, 2022's Christmas message, there was a lot of whiny little bitches complaining about the content of that video. And you guys have no idea how much planning went into that one, and effort. Do you realize how much 10-level dick I had to lay out to get a volunteer to voice a part in that video? I mean, it was rather enjoyable, I admit that, but you know, it does kind of wear a man down. So this year, I and Combat Cameraman decided, let's just do a end of year, essentially summary, give a motivational information for this coming year, thoughts about what could occur, and who knows what else may pop up in here, because this is completely unscripted, unlike what we usually do. Well, first off, a summary for the channel. Over this last year, we've gained over 6,000 new subscribers, which is quite impressive considering that YouTube does not support this channel in any way. It is not monetized. They do not promote it. They will occasionally promote particular videos that I do, like the Coming Civil War series, or this year the big one was the US M14 anti-personnel toe popper mine, which unfortunately you're not going to see that training aid in upcoming videos, as someone apparently has taken it upon themselves to liberate it from my collection. I'm still trying to track down who did that so I can get it back, because those training aids are very hard to find, especially that one. So I'm a little bit perturbed on it. We've also gained we broke, I should say, the 1 million view mark for views on this channel since its creation. And that is a huge feat, as you should be aware. I've done my best to put out at least one video a week, and weeks where I couldn't, I at least tried to get posted some older training videos. I did a lot more of that this year also, as you may have noticed. And you may have noticed that over the last few weeks here, I've been pushing out more and more and more per week than what I've done previously. And part of that is because of what I just feel we're probably going to see in 2024. Now, what do I think we'll see in 2024? I've talked with Kaz, the Italian hillbilly, I've talked with Ron Stryker, and I've talked to others in my area, people who do not have YouTube channels, who are part of that giant, scary militia movement. What do they think's coming? Every one of us this last year have had a very bad feeling that this next year is going to be exceptionally bad. Just felt the drive that we need to get more supplies. We need to get more serious on what we're doing, on our planning, our reconnaissance, on getting things ready. So I recommend you do that this coming year. Hell, if you are in an area right now that's not frozen over, I suggest you spend the time until the ground freezes getting in more supply caches, digging more hide positions and bunkers deep in the woods that you and your loved ones can go to either wait out the coming storm or to have a somewhat secure location that you'll be able to operate from to do what needs to be done. In the coming months, don't waste time. Our time for rest is over. It really feels like soon. It'll be time to start watering the tree of liberty, which all of you should know what that means. Now, I know some of you right now, those of you that wear little pin badges on your chest, are probably screaming that I'm inciting people to violence. I'm not. I just advise people to be prepared to defend yourselves. And don't do anything stupid beforehand. And if you make the decision to break a law, to prepare for what's coming, you need to be prepared to accept the consequences. This last year, I know of several militia in my area who went to D.C. in January of 2020. These were people that talked about, oh, if the feds ever come for them, all they're going to receive is hot brass, bullets flying through the air, as they escape and evade out to the field and start the fight. Every last one of them rolled over, allowed themselves to be arrested, themselves and their families disarmed before the fight has even come. In this coming year, you need to realize when they come for you, they're not going to be friendly. You're not going to receive a fair trial. They are there to take another piece off that chessboard. Act accordingly. Now, I suppose I should get into the reading for this particular holiday season, since we're between Christmas and New Year's. And this year, we'll get it from the Holy Bible. Some of you should know this, or at least you better. And some of you likely, because you've never been taught history in school, have never heard this before. It is Washington's vision at Valley Forge. Now, there is a lot of debate on if this actually happened, or was this just fiction written by someone trying to build up patriotism during the last Civil War, which was in the 1860s. That is for you to decide. I know personally, when I read this and I hear readings of it, I lean more towards whoever wrote this knew a lot more than what they were telling us. You doubtless have heard the story of Washington's going to the thicket to pray in secret for aid and comfort from God. The interposition whose divine providence brought us safely through the darkest days of tribulation. One day, I remember it well, when the chilly winds whistled through the leafless trees, though the sky was cloudless and the sun shone brightly, he remained in his quarters nearly all the afternoon alone. When he came out, I noticed that his face was a shade paler than usual. There seemed to be something on his mind of more than ordinary importance. Returning just after dusk, he dispatched an orderly to the quarters who was presently in attendance. After a preliminary conversation of about an hour, Washington, gazing upon his companion with that strange look of dignity which he alone commanded, related the event that occurred that day. This afternoon, as I was sitting at this table, engaged in preparing a dispatch, something seemed to disturb me. Looking up, I beheld standing opposite me a singularly beautiful woman. So astonished was I, for I had given strict orders not to be disturbed, that it was some moments before I found language to inquire the cause of her presence. A second, a third, and even a fourth time did I repeat my question, but received no answer from my mysterious visitor, except the slight raising of her eyes. By this time I felt a strange sensation spreading through me. I would have risen, but the riveted gaze of the being before me rendered volition impossible. I essayed once more to address her, but my tongue had become useless, as though it had become paralyzed. A new influence, mysterious, potent, irresistible, took possession of me. All I could do was to gaze steadily, vacantly, at my unknown visitor. Gradually, the surrounding atmosphere seemed as if it had become filled with sensations and luminous. Everything about me seemed to rarefy, the mysterious visitor herself becoming more airy and yet more distant to my sight than before. I now began to feel as one dying, or rather to experience the sensations which I have sometimes imagined accompanied dissolution. I did not think, I did not reason, I did not move. All were alike impossible. I was only conscious of gazing fixedly and vacantly at my companion. Presently, I heard a voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." While at the same time my visitor extended her arm eastwardly, I now beheld a heavy white vapor at some distance rising fold upon fold. This gradually dissipated, and I looked upon a stranger scene. Before me lay spread out in one vast plain all the countries of the world: Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Americas. I saw rolling and tossing between Europe and America the billows of the Atlantic, and between Asia and America lay the Pacific. "Son of the Republic," said the mysterious voice as before, "look and learn." At that moment, I beheld a dark, shadowy being, like an angel, standing, or rather floating in midair, between Europe and America. Dipping water out of the ocean in the hollow of each hand, he sprinkled some upon America with his right hand, while with his left hand he cast some on Europe. Immediately, a cloud raised from these countries and joined in mid-ocean. For a while it remained stationary, and then moved slowly westward, until it enveloped America in its murky folds. Sharp flashes of lightning gleamed through it at intervals, and I heard the smothered groans and cries of the American people. A second time the angel dipped water from the ocean, sprinkled it out as before. The dark cloud was then drawn back to the ocean, in whose heaving billows it sank from view. A third time I heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." I cast my eyes upon America and beheld villages, towns, and cities springing up, one after another, until the whole land, from the Atlantic to the Pacific, was dotted with them. Again I heard the mysterious voice say, "Son of the Republic, the end of the century cometh. Look and learn." At this, the dark, shadowy angel turned his face southward, and from Africa I saw an ill-omened specter approach our land. It flitted slowly over every town and city of the latter. The inhabitants presently set themselves in battle array against each other. As I continued looking, I saw a bright angel, on whose brow rested a crown of light, and on which was traced the word Union, bearing the American flag, which he placed between the divided nation, and said, "Remember, ye are brethren." Instantly, the inhabitants, casting from them their weapons, became friends once more, and united around the national standard. And again I heard the mysterious voice saying, it's hard to do this with gloves, as you should know. "Son of the Republic, look and learn." At this, the dark, shadowy angel placed the trumpet to his mouth and blew 3 distinct blasts, and taking water from the ocean, he sprinkled it upon Europe, Asia, and Africa. Then my eyes beheld a fearful scene. From each of these countries arose thick, black clouds that so joined into one. Throughout this mass there gleamed a dark red light, by which I saw hordes of armed men, who, moving with the cloud, marched by land and sailed by sea to America. Our country was enveloped in this volume of cloud, and I saw these vast armies devastate the whole country and burn the villages, towns, and cities I had beheld springing up. As my ears listened to the thundering of the cannon, the clashing of sword, and the shouts and the cries of millions in mortal combat, I heard again the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." When the voice had ceased, the dark, shadowy angel placed his trumpet once more to his mouth and blew a long and fearful blast. Instantly, a light as of 1,000 suns shone down from above me and pierced and broke into fragments the dark cloud which enveloped America. At the same moment, the angel upon whose head still shone the word Union, and who bore our national flag in one hand and sword in the other, descended from the heavens, attended by legions of spirits. These immediately joined the inhabitants of America, who I perceived were well nigh overcome, but who immediately, taking courage again, closed up their broken ranks and renewed the battle. Again, amid the fearful noise of the conflict, I heard the mysterious voice saying, "Son of the Republic, look and learn." As the voice ceased, the shadowy angel for the last time dipped water from the ocean and sprinkled it upon America. Instantly, the dark cloud rolled back, together with the armies it had brought, leaving the inhabitants of the land victorious. Then once more I beheld the villages, towns, and cities springing up where I had seen them before, while the bright angel, planting an azure standard he had brought in the midst of them, cried with a loud voice, while the stars remain and the heavens send down dew upon the earth, so shall the union last. And taking from his brow the crown upon which blazoned the word Union, he placed it upon the standard, while the people kneeling down cried out, Amen. The scene instantly began to fade and dissolve, and I at last saw nothing but the rising, curling vapor I at first beheld. This also disappearing, I found myself once more gazing upon the mysterious visitor, who in the same voice I had heard before said, Son of the Republic, what you have seen is thus interpreted. 3 great perils will come upon the Republic. The most fearsome is the third. But in this greatest conflict, the whole world, united, shall not prevail against her. Let every child of the Republic learn to live for his God, for his land, for his union. With these words, the vision vanished, and I started from my seat and felt that I had seen a vision wherein had been shown to me the birth, progress, and destiny of the United States. There are many people who, to this day, try to interpret that vision to mean something else. They pervert it. They pervert the scene of the dark angel, saying that all of these problems will come to our country because of people of non-white skin or a different outline, shape of their eyes than themselves. I don't get that from that reading. Darkness has always represented evil in visions. It doesn't represent a person's skin color. But we are allowing ourselves to be divided. We're allowing ourselves to be manipulated, to be divided based on our skin color, based on our religion, based on the shape of eyes, based on where you were born or where your grandparents were born. The reason that is being done is to destroy this union, to destroy this country. The only way we are strong is together. The only way we will make it through the coming fight and win is together. Anyone who is willing to pick up one of these, to fight for the freedoms recognized in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, they are my brother and my sister. And I do not care what skin color they are. What matters to me is that they have the moral fortitude, the courage to stand and fight when this nation will need them to. I have behind me here the flag of Minnesota. For those of you that are not aware of it, I came from Minnesota originally. That's where I grew up, where I was born. That's why I enlisted into the U.S. military. Recently here, this flag, it's been decided needs to be replaced. Its replacement was not voted on by the people because they were considered too stupid to decide what the flag of their own state would be. So it was created for them. And the flag that has been chosen is a flag no different than what you would see in Somalia. They are rubbing it in the faces of Minnesotans that they are no longer in charge of their own state. I tell my brethren in Minnesota, when you go to fight, take this with you. And every time you see one of those abominations that they're going to force upon you in a few months, take that abomination and burn it and replace the flagpole with this. I have one final reading for you because I do not anticipate there will be another one of these videos in Christmas of 2024. I seriously hope I'm wrong. I seriously hope all of us are wrong that believe this next year is going to be nothing but bloodshed, sadness, fear, hunger. Let this next passage remain in your mind, etched in your soul. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm 23 from the Old Testament. Part of the Bible that is agreed upon by Christians and Jews. I'm not saying the Israeli government. I consider them rather satanic and a terrorist organization. I'm talking about the people themselves. And what's coming ahead, which you will have to endure. Let those words guide you and get you through. That no matter how dark the times will get, you have this to fall back on. This to get you through. And if you don't have this, if you don't have the faith that this is meant to feed, your times are going to be far worse because you've opened yourself up to be more easily manipulated and tortured. And you will not have the help of God to get you through it. Don't waste time. Our time for fun and frivolity is gone. Soon, it'll be the time of raising of the black flag, the beating of the war drum, the sound of the cannon, the crack of the rifle shot, and the cries from the wounded. Do not leave your brethren on the battlefield. God has an honored place in heaven for you, for anyone who gives their life for their brother. And as I already told you, anyone who is willing to pick up a weapon and fight beside us in this coming fight, they are your brother and your sister. Protect them, and they will protect you. For everyone that is out there, I wish all of you a Merry Christmas, hopefully a Happy New Year, and to always remember, no matter how hard things get, essayons, let us try.